Welcome to a spot interview of NeverEndingPanel.com. Tonight we have Gets to the With.
I'm saying with.
Can I have the Tonight We Have before we get to the With?
Yes.
Tonight we have with us special guest author Tim Powers, who is the two-time winner of the World Fantasy Award for the acclaimed novels Last Call and Declare, winner of the Philip K. Dick Award for the Anubis Gates. I said it correctly. Thank you very much. And known for secret history novels in which actual events occur but have paranormal explanations. So really we want to know, Tim,
well, first of all, thank you for being here.
Yeah, we do want to thank you for being here. And we'd like to know what you're working on. What's going on in Tim Powers' life?
Right now I think
that you can talk about legally.
Well, caveat there. Right now I'm more than halfway through a novel which involves Dante Gabriel Rossetti and his sister Christina. Actually, I find that if you read a biography of anybody, Louisa May Alcott, Beatrix Potter, with the particular paranoid, schizophrenic squint polarity that I find useful.
By the way, that's the quote of the day. Yeah.
Looking for events or statements or obscurities that could be torqued toward science fiction fantasy. You find them in anybody's biography. But the Rossettis are particularly target-rich. And
can you give us a little bit more hint about the story, or you're like...
Well...
no, I'd have to kill you. No. Yeah.
It originally started when I read that Dante Gabriel Rossetti, when his wife killed herself, he, in a fit of grief, laid his poetry notebook in the coffin with her. All his poems, and they buried her. And then, like 7 years later, a publisher told him, "If you had a collection of poetry, we could publish it." And he said, "Well, give me a couple days." And I immediately thought, what did he really dig her up for? The poetry was an excuse. He either had to get something else out of the coffin, or else he had to use the poetry as an excuse so he could put something in and rebury her.
Well, we're talking zombies here. I mean, you got a whole bunch of options at this point.
I've tried to avoid the zombie option. But in any case, it's, of course, a lot of supernatural stuff going on.
Got it. And was this something like you had in mind for a while? You'd put it on the back burner and now I can finally get to it, or did this sort of come to you?
Actually, every time I finish a story or a book, I have no ideas at all. I always think, now you retire and, raise dogs or something.
Or have Michelle watch them.
Yeah. But no, I was just idly reading about Rossetti and thought, well, now wait a sec, maybe this is research reading. That often happens where recreational reading, suddenly you realize, wait a sec, no, now this is research reading.
So you just have a field day with like the life of Julius Caesar or something?
I probably could. That stacks up. You do stack up thinking, that guy's life, Tesla, for example.
Oh yeah.
In fact, it's so rich, you kind of back off.
The other thing I need to know about Tesla was, is he from another dimension or from another planet?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's some people whose lives just so blatantly ask for this kind of treatment that I think, no, I won't.
Too easy.
Or everybody else must be doing it.
And this is where I always say, Eitan, you had that question you were dying to ask Tim, where I just stump him because he isn't, and he's got to think of something on the second, and he's got, So what's that question you were just dying to ask Tim that you were telling me about? Eitan? Oh, I got him! I finally got him! Woo!
No, what I really want to know is this.
Okay, I didn't get it.
You do historical figures. You go into the historical past or anything. Anything with Hitler that you think... I hate to ask it. It is the obvious question, but since this is your mastery thing here...
Actually, he's a better example than Tesla. He's just dripping with peculiar, weird, occult, unexplained...
the meth addiction didn't hurt.
And I always do look for characters in history who behave apparently irrationally, apparently crazy. And I want to say, okay, in what, supernatural context would that behavior not be irrational? Would in fact be shrewd? And it would be interesting to deal with Hitler's, crazy behavior and try to cook up a supernatural.
He's trying to close a
picture.
dimensional gate that would be really bad,
God
or he's
knows.
trying to open up a dimensional gate that would be really bad.
The
Actually, I
trouble-
read that story.
The trouble is, though, that it's like there's way too many footprints.
Yeah, a lot of baggage on it.
I mean, there's just thousands of books about Hitler, and it would get into another factor I run into sometimes with historical fiction. It would get too ugly. It would be kind of unpleasant research.
So the farther back you go, the better off you are.
You don't want to go too far back. I remember researching one time, or considering a book about François Villon, French poet, I think 13th century. And I thought, well, I happened to have a book that had all the research right there in one book. I thought, well,
Too soon? Too soon?
Can you let him finish his sentence? Michelle, slap him. Go ahead. Yeah.
But I thought, well, you better write a book about this guy because here's all your research. Also, he disappears at age 30, which is handy. You can calculate what he did after that. But in one of the footnotes, it said that they had, at that time, a special tool which they used to push back from the edge of a pot of boiling oil the hands of a guy you had just dumped into it. They did this so much that they thought, I'm sick of using my boot. Can't we make some special tool for this? And
That's a harsh civilization.
I just thought, I don't like these people. This is an ugly world. And the further back you get, the more barbaric it gets. Before about 1600, as far back as you dare go, they really, if you were taking a girl out on a Saturday, you go watch bears and dogs fight to the death in a pit.
And that was considered moderate.
Evenings.
You must really like her. You took her a nice, gentle thing.
Yeah, I just don't like these people.
All right. Well, Tim Powers, thank you very much for being on a spot interview on NeverEndingPanel.com.
Thank
with us.
you.
We really appreciate you coming out to do
Lots of fun.